This is not getting discussed on the mainstream media. Not only are they wrong legally, but the fact that they would do this is outrageous. This is an overreaction and really nonsense. How would you react if this was your son or your daughter? It's the offense of knowing the truth. It's the offense of having an alternate worldview. Saying God bless you to someone is not a violation of the law.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast, and we're glad our television audience is with us. And let me get everybody updated very quickly. Here's what we've got. This is Public School 90 in Brooklyn, which is in the Coney Island area. The students we're getting ready to have next week are getting ready to have their promotion ceremony. The song selected is God Bless the USA. The principal, once she heard that it was going to be that song, walked into the room as the students were actually rehearsing the song, removed the CD, and said it is inappropriate, it is offensive to some people, I do not want God Bless the USA sung. Instead, she wanted or allowed to have the proposed song was going to be Justin Bieber's song, Baby. Well, that got an incredible outcry yesterday. People were outraged. Not anything against Justin Bieber, but against the idea that God Bless the USA was inappropriate, but the Justin Bieber song was okay. Well, here's what's happened. Mayor Bloomberg gets involved, and he says the Justin Bieber song probably not appropriate for the promotion ceremony, but doesn't go the next step and say God Bless the USA is of course appropriate. He doesn't say that. This is now starting to get reaction in Washington, D.C., as well as around the country. Jordan, what's the latest in Washington?
Yeah, we are starting to see reactions from members of Congress, specifically those members of Congress who are from the New York area. Congressman Michael Grimm has been on the broadcast before, saying he's outraged that New York City's Department of Education is standing by the decision of PS 90 principal to pull the song Proud to be an American from the upcoming kindergarten ceremony for fear of offending other cultures. The only thing offensive about any of this is the anti-American message being ingrained in our youth. We should all be proud to be American, and we should never apologize for it at all.
Let me tell you what we're doing right now, and this is where you come in. We've got a letter going to the school district, going to Mayor Bloomberg, going to the chancellor of the school, saying let the students sing God Bless the USA, that the decision to ban God Bless the USA is not only troubling, but insulting to members of that community, many of which are immigrants to the United States, and they want the song sung. Here's what I'm asking you to do right now. Will you stand with these students at PS 90 in New York, and will all 50 states respond and say, yes, those students should be able to sing God Bless the USA? We want you on this letter. We want thousands of names on this letter. You go to ACLJ.org. You can sign the letter online. Easy to do, ACLJ.org. Or you pick up the phone right now and you call 1-877-989-2255. Stand with these students. Let's fight back on this, folks. 1-877-989-2255. That's 877-989-2255 to stand up and fight.
God bless the USA.
Lee Greenwood's ballad, God Bless the USA, one of the most well-known and popular patriotic songs of our time. Millions listen to it daily, but that song is not going to be heard in one New York school. A principal in Brooklyn has banned God Bless the USA from a graduation ceremony for kindergarten students set for June 20th. The reason? It's not age appropriate. What's worse, the principal's boss, the city school's chancellor, is backing up this disturbing decision. The ban has sparked outrage from across the country. The ACLJ is mobilizing, sending a letter to the school board, demanding that the ban on God Bless the USA be reversed, and that the song be played at the graduation ceremony next week. Take a stand. Add your name to our letter now. It's time to give this school a lesson about the Constitution. Call now, 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online aclj.org.
Hey, welcome back to the broadcast, everyone. I thought it'd be appropriate right now to let me reset the stage here a little bit. We're talking about the situation in New York, Coney Island School. The students are getting ready to graduate from kindergarten on up to first grade. And some of you are seeing this later in the summer. This is an ongoing matter we're handling right now. Here's the problem. The selected song by the students was God Bless the USA, the Lee Greenwood song. The school principal said, no, it's inappropriate. Students don't have those kind of free speech rights. Why? The lyrics might be offensive to some cultures. We thought that was ridiculous. Thousands of you have thought it was ridiculous as well. But I want to, as we fight this case out in Coney Island, New York, I want to take a look back about student religious freedom. and a case we did in 1990 at the Supreme Court of the United States.
The turning point for religious liberty in this country was clearly the Mergens case involving Bible clubs, because it set a different tone. It said no longer will expressions of faith be removed from the public school as if they were somehow subversive or against each other. And that changed the way people thought about religious practice and religious faith, not just in schools, but then across the board.
We wanted to have the Bible study meet in the school, and we thought it'd be no problem to start. But it turned into a problem when the principal said, no, you can't have it.
They may not meet under the present ruling of the Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit if that speech involves some sort of religious thought.
Is it a freedom of speech question in your opinion?
It is not.
No, sir.
Do you think that high school students and grammar school students should have equal rights with college students?
Do you?
No, sir.
They have the right to meet, and they should have the right to meet, because this is a democracy.
The public schools are really no places for religious meetings, for masses, for revival meetings, for prayer meetings.
Congress saw this widespread discrimination, and that's what it was, against religious speech, Christian speech in particular. They passed in 1984, after extensive hearings, the Equal Access Act.
All it does is say that if a school allows a Young Republicans Club or a Kiwanis Club to meet, equal treatment must be given to religious groups.
There was like a sealed door, which was keeping any practice of, any expression of religious thought out of the schools. There's one ruling after another we can cite, one case after another. Now that seal has been broken. That's the big thing. This is more than a foot in the door. This is an epic change.
Bridget Mergens stood before the school board and asked that she be allowed to have a prayer club and a Bible club meet on her public high school campus. And they were denied that right, even with the Equal Access case. In 1989, when they made the request to the Supreme Court of the United States, and the Supreme Court said, yes, we're going to hear the Mergens case.
On June 4th, 1990, the United States Supreme Court issued a landmark decision. 8 of the 9 Supreme Court justices ruled in favor of Mergens.
And everybody said, when we went and did that prayer and Bible club case, there was no way. That's what the world said, that you'd have prayer and Bible studies back in a public school. No way. And then the decision came out. And it wasn't just a little victory, it was 8 justices out of 9. What does that say? God answers the prayer of his people.
So many children they come here from all over the world. Their families want to live freely, but she wants to take it away from them. I don't, this is the thing that's really getting to me, that she has no right to do it.
This coming from the students and their parents. A lot of this area is immigrant area, and these immigrants to the United States love America, are glad to be here, and want to sing God Bless the USA. Here's the letter that we want you to sign on to. This is to the New York City Board of Education, Mayor Bloomberg, to the Chancellor. It's very simple. It says, the decision to ban God Bless the USA is not only troubling, but insulting to many in the community still healing from the events of 9/11, many of which are also immigrants to the United States. One parent put it this way: we were the victims of 9/11. It hit New York really hard. That song became famous with us because of that tragedy. Removing that song is horrific. This is the parent speaking. It's opening the wound again. Here's what we're saying. Don't punish patriotism for the sake of political correctness. Put God Bless the USA back on the program. And this is where you come in. You go to ACLJ.org. You can sign on, be part of this letter, so that we've got thousands and thousands of you responding. You can go to ACLJ.org, or you pick up the phone right now and call us at 1-877-989-2255. That's 877-989-2255 to have your voice heard, to stand with the students of PS90. Can you imagine the entire country, all over the country, young people being supported by men and women throughout America saying, we're standing with these school students and that want to sing God Bless the USA. We've got a lot of calls coming in. Let's go to the phones. Jordan, who do we have?
Yeah, Valerie's calling in from Florida on line 2. Valerie, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, Valerie.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I wanted to just say I had a kindergartner and a first grader in a talent show years ago, and that was the song I selected for them to sing.
Right.
And it was not beyond their doing and their understanding, and they got a standing ovation.
Well, that is exactly correct, because kids understand what the song says. God bless the USA. It's one nation under God. People understand that. Kids understand it. And look, we should use it as an educational moment, that we are blessed as a nation because we are founded by our Creator. We're endowed by our Creator with these inalienable rights. That's what the founding fathers of the United States Constitution said, the founders of our country, those that wrote the Constitution and Declaration of Independence. But we've got to fight back here, and this is now a grassroots movement. We just got a few days to do it, and that's why, Jordan, it's really critical that we stand aggressively here.
Absolutely. We need to hear from people across the country. As we've seen, in about 24 hours, there was already some change to this school. They backed away because they knew it looked really ridiculous when you put up together Justin Bieber's song and then God Bless the USA and chose Bieber over God Bless the USA. But they then decided, well, we'll pull Bieber too. But no change on God Bless the USA, no change from Mayor Bloomberg's office. But what do we know now? They are listening to the public around the country and a lot of enraged parents in New York. So we want you to call now. Let your voice be heard to the New York school here, to Mayor Bloomberg as well, to the Department of Education in New York. Call now, 877-989-2255. That's 877-989-2255. Time is running out, so we need to make our voices heard loud and clear today. 877-989-2255.
Lee Greenwood had this to say about the song and about who he is. Number 5.
I'm a Christian. She needs to talk to my pastor at the Brentwood Baptist Church in Franklin and Brentwood, Tennessee, or maybe visit Bethesda or Walter Reed Medical Hospital and talk to some of these soldiers who have American flag on their shoulder and why they serve the United States.
Jordan, who's next?
Mary's calling in from Florida on line 5. Mary, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Hi.
I think this is completely ridiculous. I'm a kindergarten teacher here in the state of Florida, and I'm proud to be a teacher and to teach these kids every day that they should be thankful for where they come from. They should be, blessed to be in this country and to have basic freedoms that other people don't have. And she's taking away one of their basic freedoms, and I think it's ridiculous.
And I appreciate your call. They think they're compromising by saying, well, we're going to remove the Justin Bieber song, which was the replacement. But listen to what Mike Gillum said. This is a reporter for New York Channel 11 News in summing this up. This is a perfect summary of what's going on here, number 12.
This all started when the principal here, that's Greta Hawkins, take a look at her right there. She banned Lee Greenwood's patriotic God Bless the USA from the kindergarten graduation. But Justin Bieber's flirty little song, Baby, well, that was left in. Now that has all changed. The principal at PS 90 has canned Bieber's song too. Now the school has been in the headlines following Hawkins' decision to scrap Greenwood's patriotic song because she felt it was offensive to some cultures and religions.
Offensive to some cultures and religions to sing God Bless the USA. I mean, this is when you really understand how outrageous this really is. Back to the phones we go.
Yeah, Charlie's calling in from Virginia on line 2. Charlie, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, just real quick, we fight these battles. They keep coming up over and over.
Yep.
What I'm curious about, I don't mean this in a threatening way, but I think it'd be good to find out what institutions are training these teachers in this kind of thinking.
Well, no, you bring up a very valid and a very real point, and that is some of these teachers are schooled in this political correctness. It's the school of politically correct thought. And as if the lyrics and the chorus of God Bless the USA are offensive because, as this teacher said, some culture may be offended. But yet it's the immigrants in this community, in this school district particularly. PS 90's in a predominantly immigrant area, and they want the song sung. This is the song the kids wanted to sing. And the principal said no because she's offended. She doesn't like the song being sung. That's the reality, Jordan, of what's going on here. It's the teacher who is offended. That's the problem.
Absolutely. And you've seen that clearly throughout. This teacher's got a history of this going back a couple of years. And I am proud of the fellow teachers at the school who have been standing up to this principal and were outraged. And this took, of course, parents. And this is, I think, Dad, an important point for everybody listening right now. When something like this happens, if this happens at a school your child attends or your grandchild attends, you see what can happen when you raise your voice. Now, if you just sit there and say, oh, this is a bad decision, we don't like this, but move on in the day, things don't change. When you raise your voice, you have an opportunity to make a difference, and that's exactly what these parents are doing by being brave and speaking out, even though this is their kids' principal here, a principal who has caused a certain amount of controversy in just a couple of years. We want you to call now, and we want you to take a stand. 877-989-2255 to raise your voice. You're defending here again. God bless the USA. 877-989-2255 or ACLJ.org.
Let's go to those phones, Jordan. Who do we have?
Yeah, let's go to James calling in from California on line 3. James, welcome to Sekulow Live.
Hi, James.
How you doing?
Good.
Well, I was just curious. So I don't necessarily think it's wrong for them to sing this song, but I'm curious, would you guys be, put in the same level of outcry if the song was Allah Bless the USA instead? And I'll take my answer off the air. Thank you very much.
If it would say Allah Bless the USA, well, of course, here's the problem. If you look at the song, first of all, God, according to Arabic tradition, Muslim tradition, I should say, very clearly, Allah is just the word for God. I mean, that's just the translation. That when they say Allah, that's their reference to God. Now, obviously, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are very different religions. The song, though, is God Bless the USA because our founders, I mean, when Lee Greenwood wrote the song, we hope to get Lee Greenwood on the broadcast, maybe even tomorrow, we're talking about what we are as a country. We are founded on Judeo-Christian principles. So there could be a song. I don't think you could ban it if the students wanted to sing it. That'd be fine. If the students made that selection, that would be fine. But here is the selection is God Bless the USA. That's the song. That's the song that's in dispute, and that's what we are having to fight over right now.
You know what would be interesting, too? These songs, anything that would be multicultural or fall under that banner would never be controversial in New York. Only God Bless the USA would end up being controversial in New York. Songs about, I mean, you got kids attending all sorts of different classes about other religious groups and singing the songs and participating. But when it's God Bless the USA, and I think that's the point for the caller, that's when it becomes a controversy. It's basic freedom of speech. There isn't a song called Allah Bless the USA. I mean, so
right.
You can make up hypotheticals all you want. This is America. This is an American song. We're a patriotic country, and this is what we do.
You go to your phones right now and call us at 1-877-989-2255. You're signing on to that letter to the New York City Board of Education and Mayor Bloomberg, and you're saying, let these students sing God Bless the USA. It is that simple. It is that straightforward. Again, the number, 1-877-989-2255. You can also go to ACLJ.org, sign it up online. Hundreds of you have done that already. When you sign up for ACLJ.org, you can also go to get our social media here, get on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, ACLJ.org, or call right now. Stand up for these students. 1-877-989-2255. That's 877-989-2255 or ACLJ.org.
God bless the USA.
Lee Greenwood's ballad, God Bless the USA, one of the most well-known and popular patriotic songs of our time. Millions listen to it daily, but that song is not going to be heard in one New York school. A principal in Brooklyn has banned God Bless the USA from a graduation ceremony for kindergarten students set for June 20th. The reason? It's not age appropriate. What's worse, the principal's boss, the city school's chancellor, is backing up this disturbing decision. The ban has sparked outrage from across the country. The ACLJ is mobilizing, sending a letter to the school board, demanding that the ban on God Bless the USA be reversed, and that the song be played at the graduation ceremony next week. Take a stand. Add your name to our letter now. It's time to give this school a lesson about the Constitution. Call now, 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online aclj.org.
Next year is 30 years since I wrote it, and I understand that the lyric that they had trouble with was the very first line of the song, if tomorrow the things were gone, I'd work for all my life. I wrote that about my grandparents and how they lost their farm through the early grain subsidization to Russia. And it's not politically incorrect. It's about struggle, and it's about people like today who a lot of them don't have jobs.
That was Lee Greenwood talking about the song God Bless the USA. By the way, we are approaching between internet and phones already. We're getting close to 1,000 calls. We want to get, for this project, we need about 10,000 of you standing up and speaking out. So you go to aclj.org, sign on to the letter there on the website, or call us at 1-877-989-2255. That's 877-989-2255. Jordan, back to the phones.
Molly's calling in from Minnesota on line 3. Molly, welcome to Sekulow Live.
Hi, Molly.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure.
I am just shaking. I am so livid. And urge all Americans to call in, to go online. That principal, that school district should be ashamed. We live in one of the greatest nations, and it's a nation under God. And it's time for all of us to stand up and say, enough, enough. This is who we are. We're Americans. We're proud. Let the kids sing the song.
Well, we're with you on that, and so far we'll tell you about 1,000 of you have contacted us, and as I said, we need many more, but people are calling in large numbers. Phone lines are jammed here. It's going to be whether the political pressure, there's no legal impediment. We've got a letter that's going to the school district, no legal impediment to the song being sung, no violation of church-state separation, no politically correct First Amendment approach, no problem. The problem, the issue, if you will, is the school principal being belligerent in the fact that she doesn't want a song because she thinks it's not culturally sensitive. This is a multicultural community, and they want the song. This is the song the students from a variety of backgrounds have picked. These are immigrants primarily to the United States, and they want this song sung. Again, 877-989-2255 if you want to sign that letter, aclj.org, or 1-877-989-2255, and we're going right back to our phones.
John calling in from Wisconsin on line 4. John, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, John.
Thank you, Jay and Jordan, for taking my call. As a veteran, what the principal did is an extreme offensive act against Americans. What we went out and defended her. We defended her right to have freedom of speech and everything like that. But for the words that a child, you know, it's not age appropriate. Where is it not age appropriate?
Well, there's two things I want to say. First, I want to say, John, thank you for your service to the country. But, Jordan, I think we've got to point out that the principal said that, and then I'm going to play what Lee Greenwood said about this, but the principal said that it was not age appropriate because it was multicultural and some cultures may be offended by this statement.
That's absolutely right. I mean, this is the typical stuff we hear. It's somehow, you know, it's against our culture. It's against the melting pot of America to be proud to be American. Patriotism is now too controversial now. It's not politically correct. I mean, that's exactly what this principal is saying. It would offend other cultures. You mean people who risked their life and did everything they can, probably spent lots of money, maybe in debt, just to get their families to the United States of America? When you're talking about a school district that has kids that are immigrants and their families are immigrants from all over the world, that's exactly what they want to be singing, is proud to be American. And that's what you've seen from the student body. This is again a New York public school of people who are excited and happy to be in the United States of America. Too many Americans have bought into this political correct stuff, and it's them. It's the ones who have never experienced what those immigrants have that think, oh, this is going to be too offensive.
Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends interviewed one of the parents involved in this, and I think it was a great little interview. It's short, just a few seconds here. Number 6, let's take a listen.
In fact, her original story said that she didn't want to offend other cultures when she walked in on the rehearsal, and you shake your head, Luz. Why?
That was her first excuse. That was the first excuse. But there's a lot of multiple cultures in that school, and that song's been sung plenty times before, and it's been with diverse races behind it, and nobody has had a problem with it.
The only person that's having a problem with it, evidently, is Mayor Bloomberg and the school district there, PS 90 in New York, and the Brooklyn School District. Folks, this is where you come in. This is where you've got to engage the issue. We have got the letters, but we need your assistance. We need your help. You call us right now at 1-877-989-2255, and you add your name to this letter, 877-989-2255, or aclj.org. It's that simple and that straightforward. aclj.org or 1-877-989-2255. Back to the phones we go.
Yep, Robin's calling in from Virginia on line 1. Robin, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, Robin.
What I need to share is that when I was in high school, I was a senior class president, and being given the opportunity at graduation to say some speech, I chose a song, actually by Scott Wesley Brown, but anyway, it mentioned Jesus, and I had to change it, even though the people in the positions around me, the vice president, the treasurers, they were my friends, people I'd known for years. So I had to change it, even if it referred to God or said the word God in it. The bottom line was, first of all, they appreciated the fact that I even sung that song because of the message of the song about how you share your life and you live your life, hopefully.
Right.
possible way. But the other thing is, at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, that's why this whole situation doesn't even...
Yeah, but here, let's focus on your school situation. You should have not been censored in that song, okay? Because I argued a series of cases at the Supreme Court of the United States, one of which was many of which were student cases, but one in particular which said students have the right to engage in free speech. There's a crucial difference between government speech endorsing religion and private speech endorsing religion. Student speech is protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. High school students are mature enough to understand that a school doesn't endorse everything it fails to censor. On and on and on it goes. You should have never been censored in the first place. But this one in particular, you talk about non-offensive. This is who we are as the American people, but that's off limits, and that's the outrage in this one. We appreciate your call, Robin. We've got a lot of calls. Quickly, let's grab one, Jordan.
Yeah, Oz calling in from Texas on line 4. Oz, welcome to Jay Sekulow.
Hi, Oz. Very quickly, please.
And the reason I'm calling is I believe that the kids should be able to sing this song. I have 2 elementary students who, I believe that they should be able to sing this song. I'm a first-generation immigrant born here in America.
Yes, sir.
Mexican. Now they're U.S. citizens, and I believe that, like I was telling the guy who answered right now, my brother died in Iraq fighting a couple years ago, and he fought for our freedom, for our kids to be able to say things like that, God, even, like my parents told him, go on, fight for our freedom, God bless America, and every letter that he sent me, the last one, he said, and I quote, I'm fighting for our freedom, for my nephews, and I do believe that they should be able to fight. They should be able to sing God Bless America song.
Oz, I want to thank you and your family for your brother's service. I want to thank you for your call and the heartfelt nature of that call, and that's exactly why we're fighting. Folks, you just heard from a first-generation American. I'm a second-generation American. Folks, we got to stand up for these are primarily immigrant community, and they want to sing God Bless the USA. Can we, as the American people, say we're going to back you up on this? You go to ACLJ.org right now, and you sign that letter with us. We're going to have thousands of you do it, or you call right now and stand with these students. 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or ACLJ.org to sign this letter. But, folks, fight back. We can win this if you'll help us. 877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or ACLJ.org.
God bless the USA.
Lee Greenwood's ballad, God Bless the USA, one of the most well-known and popular patriotic songs of our time. Millions listen to it daily, but that song is not going to be heard in one New York school. A principal in Brooklyn has banned God Bless the USA from a graduation ceremony for kindergarten students set for June 20th. The reason? It's not age appropriate. What's worse, the principal's boss, the city school's chancellor, is backing up this disturbing decision. The ban has sparked outrage from across the country. The ACLJ is mobilizing, sending a letter to the school board, demanding that the ban on God Bless the USA be reversed, and that the song be played at the graduation ceremony next week. Take a stand. Add your name to our letter now. It's time to give this school a lesson about the Constitution. Call now, 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online aclj.org.